In that situation, I would say the alliance is extremely, extremely helpful. Just getting, your foot in the door, being able to write the right products from day one. So when you start working with, your clients and start calling your clients, you're going to have options for them. You don't have to wait, 6, 12, 18 months before you build up a little book. And then the carriers start to give you opportunities,
Right.
Which is kind of how it works. They need to see something.
Hi, Angie.
Hi, hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. My name's Camden. I'm just going to be here monitoring the call and everything, just making sure it goes smooth. We have about 15, 20 minutes, and I'll let you guys get right into it.
All right, thank you.
Hi, Angie.
Hi, good morning, Chris. Thanks for having me here today. I'm so excited.
I know, me too. I'm excited to, get some context about what you're doing. And then, hopefully if you have any questions, I can try to help answer anything and try to give you some of my, feedback and knowledge. How's everything going, Angie?
It's going great. The 2021 year, it's looking brighter. So, I have plans for myself. I made a lot of changes with work and all that. So, I'm just really focusing on the plans for this year,
For
so
sure.
just working at it.
Angie, can you give me just a little background about what, where you're at and kind of what the goal is, what you're going after?
So just a little bit about my background. I've been doing in the insurance industry for about 13 plus years. So I've been in sales for the most part. Other than that, I've done claims also. I worked with different companies in the claims department. Also, I've been doing a little bit of marketing. So I've been in those areas. The last job that I had was with a company doing just customer service on the phones just all day, which was totally different that I actually did for the past, 10 years. And that's when it kind of changed for me, that I was like, you know what, I need to go back into selling, because that's what I really love about this industry, just the contact and having that customer in front of me, those relationships. I just missed that. So it was like a realization to me that I needed to go back. So now I've decided that I want to open my agency, my own agency. And, so I'm just trying to figure it out, how to do it. And that's why I'm here. Yeah.
Angie, where are you at on that? Did you already get the structure of the business laid? Did you buy the business license?
No, I haven't done anything. I'm in my first steps, basically. I have the idea of what I want to do. I have a lot of experience with, working with different brokers, and I know that that's going to help me. But as far as the structure of the business and kind of going, I haven't started doing anything.
Yeah, no, I mean, so based on what you said, it sounds like you definitely have the foundational knowledge of the industry that you should be completely fine. As far as actually getting started, did you have any questions? What can I do to help?
I do have, I've been doing my research. I've been also watching your videos, and not just once, but a couple times, to not miss anything. And so the first question that I have is, when it comes to getting appointed, I'm going to be reading this because I don't want to forget anything. When it comes to getting appointed, what are the factors insurance companies will most often consider to appoint a new agency, and the fees related versus joining an alliance or cluster?
Yeah, I think the biggest things, and I don't have an exact answer always, Angie, because every carrier might be a little bit different, but for the most part, the major ones are, premium, book of business, your size of your book. They'll want to see your personal lines and commercial lines, volume that you have, how much, premium you have on the board there, the split. They want to see which other carriers you're appointed with. So they'll want to even say, let's just say you're appointed with Liberty and Progressive and blah, blah, blah. They want to say, how much of your book is that, of those carriers? And that that way they kind of get an idea. And I don't know always why they want to know, like split up like that. I think from just my gut tells me is that they're probably saying like, okay, if they have Progressive and Liberty, and those are like our two main competitors, and there are a lot of businesses there, you know, maybe it's a good fit or maybe it's not a good fit. I don't know how they evaluate that, honestly.
Right. It gives them like a overview. So, but if it was, for example, because where I'm thinking about, it's like my struggle, I guess, would be like if I am going to be a new agency owner, like I have no clients. I have a lot of leads I can call, and trust me, I will get customers in. But if you're a new agency, would it be best to join like an alliance? Would that be like a better fit, I guess, to just get started?
Yeah,
that's the thing. Right.
Yeah, it's a little different for everybody because let's just say, you know, you did have an agency before with State Farm or Farmers. I would say probably it's something that one of these new carriers, getting an appointment with these carriers, they might look at that and say, okay, you know, we'll give you an appointment. If you're starting from scratch and haven't ever had an agency with a book of business, which you haven't, right? Angie, you haven't had a book, right?
No.
Okay, so
not on my own.
Yeah, in that situation, I would say the alliance is extremely helpful. Just getting, you know, your foot in the door, being able to write the right products from day one. So when you start working with, you know, your clients and start calling your clients, there, you know, you're going to have options for them. You don't have to wait, you know, 6, 12, 18 months before you build up a little book, and then the carriers start to give you opportunities.
Right.
Which is kind of how it works. They need to see something.
Right. That's why I was thinking maybe to incorporate like a first, like let's say like a tax service or something like that, so I can get customers in the door first to kind of have that book of business there, and then kind of try to knock on their doors and say, hey, you know, I have some clientele here, you know, maybe that would put me in a better position.
Yeah, as far as like with the carriers, Angie, I don't know if that will, just because they want to see. You're saying for like tax clients?
Well, yeah, like for example, if I didn't have any clients at all, right, no book of business, and if that was something that they're actually looking for, that I have some sort of book of business, I wonder if it would put me in a better position if I were to serve, you know, clients with already a service and have an established business already. And then I'm knocking on their doors and I'm asking this because, or I'm mentioning this is because when I was working with different companies, I did know of certain agents or agencies that were doing taxes before or other services related, consulting services. And then they tried to become an insurance agency as well. So, I mean, it might be something that, you know, I don't know if that would put me in a better position so they can approve me, you know?
Yeah, Angie, like I said, the biggest thing they look for is like your premium that you've written through different carriers. So like a tax book, they're likely,
it's not going to.
It's not going to do much. It carries the most weight when you have a book. Even if you bought a book and serviced it for, you know, a couple of months, and you were said, you know, I just purchased this book, I'm servicing this $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 book. And then, you know, they also, another thing I was going to mention too, the other thing they usually ask about is profit and loss ratios, which carriers can give you basically a report on that. So let's just say you know, $500,000 personal lines book. I'm not super well versed in this, so I'm not going to like dive super deep into it, but basically they'll have a profit loss ratio based on how many claims that your customers are putting in versus how much premium you've written. And like I said, I'm not great with those numbers. Like I just asked for them to turn them in, but
thank you for your feedback on that. You know, it gives me a little bit of clarity. And I do have another question. So the second question I have is startup costs. For example, if I was on a budget, what amount of money do you suggest that I be prepared to invest to be ready to open my doors?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I get this pretty often too. And it's pretty, you know, it really depends, Angie, on like how big or how small you want to go from day one. If you want to start, like, I'll tell you what I did, and I can just tell you, you know, based on my experience, it worked well. But I started extremely lean. Like I started, you know, like from the dirt. I got a little off inside a real estate office. It was like a shared space. It was like $500 a month. So the rent, you know, $500 a month. You know, paid for a management system, a couple $100. You know, phone system. I went with like the, you know, the lowest
basics
over IP internet phone. Yeah, like the cheapest thing you can think of. I just went like super lean. I think to start, my overhead was like maybe $1,500 to $2,000 a month. So in my head, I was just thinking, okay, all I got to do is, you know, sell 10 to 20,000 in premium, so that I could just cover my overhead for at least 1 year. You know, each month I need to do that just to cover, you know, 1 year. Then I can start building up renewals. Then I can start to scale a little bit. And then, you know, you always keep in mind, and I like to be optimistic, you might have a bigger month. So, you know, that money that comes in, the extra money, you play around with marketing and, yeah, if you really if you want to go like big and you want to start hiring staff like right out of the chute and pumping money into marketing and getting a nice office, you know, then now you're like somewhere between 5 and like 10 grand a month. You know, it really depends on how big or small you want to go.
Yeah, which is not my idea. I believe that if you start, you know, where you are comfortable starting at that point, then you'll have a little bit of room to, you know, for a little bit of marketing, a little bit of this, you know, I guess it'll just give me a better, I'll just be, you know, not that worried about all those expenses.
You're thinking about starting like small and just kind of
yes, like really small, maybe like a 2-desk office, you know, and you know, starting from there, kind of, you know, maybe an office where I can fit at least 3 desks, but at least just 2 desks for when we start, and just myself really. And maybe like when I see that the business starts picking up, then I can hire somebody that could assist and, you know, and just my last question I have for you, or the last thing I want to really pick your brain on is this opportunity that I came across with. And this opportunity, I've been looking at this for about a year. I'm like about a year. I've been just researching about it. I've talked to one of the agency owners, and he gave me a lot of good information. So that was not even on their website. So I'm not going to, you know, say the name, but and I can tell you that offline if you'd like to know. But so this one here, the franchise fee, it's a franchise, right? So a franchise fee to join, it's going to be 10,000, which I thought it was very low compared to what it's out there. I've done my research and I haven't seen anything that low. So 10K was like, wow, that's something achievable for me. Maybe I should go for that, right? But then I started to see other things that were that you know, a colleague of mine, he mentioned to me, because he has the agency right now, he's part of the franchise, and he actually purchased that office. He paid a little bit more because he of course purchased that book of business, but he was mentioning to me that there's other additional fees that you have to pay, and they're monthly.
Okay.
So yeah, client management system, you have to pay $200 because they want you to use their system. So just in order to have access to that, you have to pay $200 a month. Also, the rater system, it's going to be $120 per month.
Okay. Yeah.
And the last thing is a marketing monthly fee, because they basically go and on their ads, they would add your address and your phone number, and that's $1,200 a month. Ooh. So that to me, I was like, that's kind of high, you know. And it's like a must. You have to pay that every month to, like, it's not optional. Yeah. So I don't know, what do you think about that? Well, about that structure.
Well, Angie, does it come with a book? Like, you're buying a book?
No, zero. Like, you would have to actually, they would help you. go and rent an office. Of course, you would have to pay for everything. It's like they're going to guide you to get your own location, to tell you where would be the best location, give you that advice to guide you. And then, of course, you pay the 10K, but then you have all of these other fees that come with it. So, you know, I'm just like, I don't know. It sounds very tempting because it's a very well-known broker in Southern California. And I know that people will be coming in the door, you know, but at the same time, I just don't know if for like in the long run, you know, I would like to keep this. And I just go by, I never want to start something I don't want to continue, because when I do something, I really put all my heart into it. I'm very passionate at work, and I'm very dedicated. So I take it very seriously, and I just don't want to waste my time, waste any more effort, you know, money, you know, in doing this.
Are you in SoCal or where are you?
Yes, I actually I live in Long Beach, so this is my area.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes,
by,
you're not far at all. You're not far at all.
Yeah.
I would say honestly, Angie, from what it sounds like, they're just giving you some like basic guidance on like where to get going. As far as the marketing stuff, like you could either pay them the $1,200 whatever dollars a month as a retainer that they can go and play with and do whatever they want and market your agency for you, or you can take full control of the agency, start it from scratch on your own without using their franchise model, and you can put $1,200 towards whatever it is that you want, whether it's paying a part-time person, whether it's buying leads, whether it's like running ads on Facebook. I don't know what they're going to do with that $1,200. Personally, I like to stay away from like, organizations that are going to tell me what to do. Like I like to be driving, like I would rather way less money home than, and be driving the ship than to be, just on the ship and making more money. Like I would much rather be taking less money home and just driving the ship and driving the bus,
Right. And I totally understand that. I agree with you on that. The main reason, or the strongest reason why I was interested in the opportunity, even though I, about the fees and all of that, I was like, well, because you're always looking for a way, like not easier, but like an affordable way to begin something, depending on where you are. And also the most accessible, situation, or something that it can actually, really just kind of like give you what you're looking for. So in this case, I saw the opportunity that, well, they will have everything set up for me. Everything set up, the system, like everything, where the raters, the companies, everything. So I wouldn't have an issue with the appointments, you see. I'll
tell you one thing, Angie, like the raters and the management systems, it's super easy to get. Like you can get that really easily in place for yourself. I personally, I don't even have a rater. Like I got rid of the rater because it doesn't work well. And this is just my opinion. There's other people out there that probably stand by it, they use it, but it's very inaccurate. Like you can, basically what it does is you plug in a quote information, it spits out 10 different quotes, and they're never like exact. So
I've seen that. Yeah.
You need to go to the carrier anyway. It's good to see like a baseline of which one's the most competitive, but those things are pretty standard and pretty easy to get in place. So if that's like your main concern, I would do as much as you can to like set your own agency up by yourself. And then I would be like, okay, if I'm like totally stuck and I cannot figure this out, maybe I should pay somebody. Before like just saying, I'm just going to pay somebody and let them figure it out, I would try to get some of the things going yourself just to see how hard is this really to do,
Right.
And I'll tell you, it is definitely a challenge. Like and that's why I started making these videos in the first place, because there's nothing online to explain how to do it.
Yeah.
So I would try to.
You're the one though.
That's me. Yeah,
keep it like that. Keep it coming. I'm really, really enjoying your content. So I really thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No, thank you, Angie. I really do appreciate that too, honestly. But yeah, no, like I said, I would try to just get some stuff going, even if you needed to like talk to me, and I'm happy to answer your questions for free too. You know, you don't need to pay me or anything. Like, if it's a quick question, you're like, hey, Chris, like, what system should I use for this? How do I get the phone system? Like, what do I really need? To lay it all out, it's pretty, there's not that much. The main thing that logistically is like Department of Insurance, Secretary of State, getting the right like licenses in place that says you are a real operating agency. That was like, that's the biggest challenge in my opinion. And then the other stuff is like, okay, where do I get my phones? Where do I get my internet? Where do I get my like management system? It's all pretty standard. And then that $1,200, you could, I'm not trying to do one way or the other, because this franchise might be the way to go. I don't know, honestly. So, but it's nice to have an extra $1,200 in your pocket every month.
I mean, and it just sounds like I could do a better use with them when it comes to marketing, because they won't do any ads on any social media. They won't do any ads. They would just go traditional and they do a little bit of TV and like a little bit of radio, which are kind of expensive too, and just like a couple of magazines or so. So if the only thing that they do is add my address and my phone number, I'm pretty sure I can be more creative than that and use those $1,200 in a better way.
At the end of the day, we're all on our phones. We're not looking at magazines and
exactly.
TV. When the commercials come on in TV, what is the first thing we all do? We all pull out our phones.
Oh,
look right at our phones. So even commercials, TV, radio, I don't know. We all have Spotify.
I know, right? But it was great picking your brain on that. So I really appreciate you, answering those questions for me. And I'm excited. I really want to maybe register for another session or something like that can help me, to keep me going.
Totally. I think Angie, seriously, there's a lot of stuff that even I can guide you on how to kind of get some of that stuff going that maybe you can avoid buying into something that long term that might not be the best fit for you. But I mean, like I said, it could be or could not be. It's just a matter of like understanding where you want to go and where you're at. So I think kind of
perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Angie.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. I appreciate you guys.
Bye. You too.
Thank you.